Bradford City have today confirmed their 7th departure of the 2026 January transfer window as striker Callum Kavanagh drops back down to sign for League 2 side Oldham Athletic on a permanent deal. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 200 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below on this news. Obviously, with transfer deadline day tomorrow, we do expect over the next 24 hours or so there to be a fair few more deals completed from a Bradford City point of view, with at least one, maybe two more strikers expected to be coming in. I do think the writing was on the wall really for Callum Kavanagh. As always, the best place to be for the Bradford City latest transfer news is over on the Tier 3 channel membership. With just, like I say, a day left of the transfer window, I will still try and report the business as quick as possible over there. But another departure completed. I reported this approximately 2 days ago now that Callum Kavanagh was joining Oldham Athletic. Our article does then read that Kavanagh departs City. Callum Kavanagh has completed a permanent move to Sky Bet League 2 side Oldham Athletic for an undisclosed fee. The forward makes a switch over the Pennines to Boundary Park after spending 2 years at the University of Bradford Stadium. Kavanagh was a crucial part of last season's automatic promotion to Sky Bet League 1, scoring 9 goals in 38 appearances. During his time in BD8, Kavanagh represented the Bantams on 70 occasions, scoring 19 goals and assisting his teammates 9 times. Everyone at Bradford City AFC would like to thank Callum for his services and wish him the best for the future. Now, Oldham Athletic, they say Latics capture striker Kavanagh. Oldham Athletic are delighted to announce the signing of striker Callum Kavanagh, who joins the club on a 2.5-year contract until June 2028. The 22-year-old forward arrives at Boundary Park from Bradford City, where he was part of the Bantam squad that secured automatic promotion from Sky Bet League 2 last season. Kavanagh enjoyed a productive campaign in 23-24, scoring 9 league goals and 13 in all competitions, whilst also contributing 5 assists across the season. I feel like they might be stats from last season, not the 23-24 season. I don't think he scored 9 goals for us that season, did he? He joined Bradford City in January 2024 and went on to play a key role in their promotion push. A former Middlesbrough Academy graduate, Kavanagh gained valuable AFL experience during loan spells with Harrogate Town and Newport County before establishing himself at Valley Parade, where he scored a total of 19 times. On the international stage, Callum, the son of former Cardiff City captain and Stoke midfielder Graham, has also represented the Republic of Ireland at both under-21 and under-17 level. Speaking after completing his move, Kavanagh said, "I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Oldham Athletic is a massive club with real ambition, and after good conversations with the coaching staff, it felt like the right move for me." I wouldn't say Oldham are a massive club. They are a big club for League 2 level, but I think massive is maybe over-exaggerating slightly. But he continues to say, "Oldham is a club which matches my ambition and is now in a great position to kick on. I'm hungry to score goals, work hard for the team and help the club push forward over the next few years." Latics manager Mickey Mellon added, "Callum is a player we've admired for some time. He's a young striker with good experience already behind him, knows this level well and has shown he can score and create goals. He's hungry, determined and fits exactly the profile of player we want at this football club. We're really pleased to welcome him to Oldham." Now, obviously, Callum Kavanagh was part of that Bradford City squad who did get us over the line and finally back into the promised land of League 1. And don't get me wrong, he more than played his fair part last campaign, especially when Andy Cook got his injury. Kavanagh was heavily relied upon, and for the large part, he did step up and obviously scored a fair few goals that in the end got us promoted. But League 1 has proved to be a massive jump really for Kavanagh, and pretty much every time he's played for Bradford City this season, he has looked massively out of place and clearly not ready for that step up into League 1. So I think Oldham is a great move for him. There is no immediate expectation for him to go in there, score 20 goals a season and get them promoted this season, given that they just came up from the National League. I'm not 100% sure where Oldham are in the table, but I think for where they were at the end of last season, avoiding relegation would have been a good season, but they'll be hoping to maybe have a late flirt with the playoffs, and next season I think is a good opportunity for Oldham to go on and challenge for them playoff places, and I don't see why Callum Kavanagh can't be a part of that. I think you'll get the best out of him playing in a 2-striker formation where you've got a more physical striker. I don't think he's great with his back to goal. His first touch is really poor. He's not a dribbler, so to say. He's much more of a poacher. He's very chaotic in a respectful way. I'd like like to describe him as maybe the Darwin Núñez of League Two. I think you don't really know what he's going to do. One minute he can come out with some brilliance, and that's where some of his goals came from, but then other times he'll fail to control a 5-yard pass. But that's what's always going to happen with young players. At 22 years of age, there's still plenty of room for him to grow and develop, and I think it's clear to see that he wasn't quite going to do that at Bradford City, with him at this moment in time being 5th choice striker, even with young Harry Ibbotson out on loan, but we're expected to bring 1, maybe 2 more in. Kavanagh was just not going to play any more football between now and the end of the season, especially with the recent additions of Paul Mullin and Caden Jackson, who both certainly impressed on their debut. And you look at Bradford City's win, draw and loss percentage with and without Callum Kavanagh, it doesn't make for pretty reading. So I wish him nothing but the best at Oldham, given the fact that he had only 6 months left to run on his contract as well. If he then he's not really played much so far this campaign, but then if he wasn't going to play for the remaining 6 months of the season, which does look pretty likely unless we got some crazy injury crisis, then it might have been a bit more difficult for him to find a club. But while his stock's still relatively high and he's coming off the back of scoring a decent amount of goals at that level, I wish him nothing but the best at Oldham. He's certainly a big improvement on Kean Harrett, who I think Oldham have just sent out on loan to Brackley. It sounds like some pub team, doesn't it? Now, Callum Kavanagh was certainly somebody that divided opinions at Bradford City, and for me personally, I was always on the side of I think we can do better, or wasn't the biggest fan of Callum Kavanagh. He always worked very hard for the team, and obviously sometimes his quality did let him down, which is probably going to happen with young players. But the reason for me why I can never fully get on board with Callum Kavanagh at Bradford City, as we know, last campaign it took him a long time to get his first goal in the league for Bradford City. It came on game week 20, nearly halfway through the season, where he did miss 3 or 4 games through injury or selection. I'm not 100% sure why he didn't play in those games, but obviously he did miss a couple, and it took him around 15 or 16 league appearances to get his first goal. And when he scored that goal, obviously it did prove to be a match winner against Swindon. He then came out with this celebration, cupping his ears to the Bradford City fans. And for me, Bradford City are a very working class club, and when the fans are the one paying your wages, if you're not performing, there is nothing wrong with criticising you for your performances. Try and respond by scoring goals, not by scoring your first goal of the season after nearly 20 games, and then you cup your ears to your own fans who are literally putting the money in your pocket every single week. So that's why I couldn't fully get on board with Callum Kavanagh, at least when maybe say somebody like an Alex Patterson did it away at Rotherham this season. He had a lot of proven pedigree behind him, and even if somebody like an Andy Cook, with the legend status that he had, he would have never done something like that. So that's why I personally could never fully get on board with Callum Kavanagh, but I know he was somebody who certainly did split the opinion of the Bradford City fan base. And we look at Callum Kavanagh's time in League One this campaign. He made 8 league appearances in total, starting 6 of those games, playing just less than 500 minutes, where he failed to score or assist in any of those games, and we go through all of them in individual detail. He came on at half-time against Lincoln and we lost that game 3-0. Came on at half-time against Huddersfield and we lost that game 1-0. Started this game at Blackpool, which is the only game that he started in the league for Bradford City, and we won, but he was really poor on that day, comfortably Bradford City's worst player. I think it was 1-1 when he got subbed off the pitch as well, and obviously we did go on to win that game. Started this one against Mansfield, we lost 3-0. Started this one against Burton and we lost. Started this one against Lincoln and we drew. Started this one against Stevenage and drew. And started this one against Barnsley and also did draw. So out of 8 of his total appearances, we've only won 1 in that time this league campaign. And obviously I'm not saying that's entirely down on Callum Kavanagh, that would be incredibly harsh for me to do, but just added in a little bit of context that Kavanagh, clearly League One is, for him personally, even if you look at the ratings, clearly a step too far for him at this stage in his career. But I do think there could be a good player in Kavanagh in the future. It's just a shame that his contract is coming to the end this summer. There's no real point in renewing him to send him out on loan, and if he doesn't really kick on, then you've then got a player on a longer term deal who probably no one's going to want. So I think it's smart for Bradford City to get a fee in for him now. Hopefully we have recouped some of that money that we did spend on him, and maybe even made a profit on him. I would like to think that we have made a profit on him. Looking at last season though in a little bit more detail, obviously he was one of the players who started on that day against Fleetwood. I'm pretty sure out of everyone who started, only Sam Walker, Kieran Kelly, Anthony Sarswick and Bobby Poynton remain. Only 4 of the starting 11 are still Bradford City players, and obviously in terms of outfield players, only 2 of those play regularly. But Callum Kavanagh last campaign played 38 times, starting 31 of those matches where he did manage over 2,500 minutes. He scored 9 goals and averaged a goal every 278 minutes, which is a pretty decent return. He did miss 6 big chances last campaign and had a 13% goal conversion rate, which is not the best conversion percentage in the world. He averaged nearly 2 shots per game. He did also create a further 6 big chances and registered at 5 assists throughout last campaign. 71% passing accuracy, did his fair share defensively, especially with that high press. I think that's certainly Kavanagh's biggest plus point, is that he always works incredibly hard. You cannot question Callum Kavanagh's endeavour and commitment towards it. In terms of his successful dribble percentage, that was at 31%, won 37% of his ground duels and only 21% of his aerial duels, but he did also pick up 5 yellow cards. So 14 goal contributions in 31 starts, nearly 1 in every 2 starts is getting some form of goal contribution. I think Oldham have got themselves a good player on their hands here if they play to his strengths. If you're just going to play a hoofball up to him as a lone striker, you're not going to get the best out of Kavanagh whatsoever. We've seen in a couple of games this season where that has happened, but I think if you play him in a front two with somebody like a Mike Fond up next to him, I think that could be a really good partnership for this level. In terms then of how Bradford City squad is now lining up for the 2025-26 campaign, as you can see, we are now looking a little bit better for numbers in here in terms of strength in depth, where we were on Tuesday, for example, when our only options were Stephen Humphreys and Callum Kavanagh. We are now looking in a much better position. Obviously, Will Swan's still injured at the moment. Stephen Humphreys, again, there's still question marks. Is he really a striker? But Jackson impressed on debut. Mullin did the same as well. And with Ethan Wheatley expected to be announced tomorrow, more bids expected to go in as well for Jake Beasley. Who knows what Bradford City squad could look like come at 5 p.m. tomorrow. I still do think that we need to bring in at least one more centre-back, and I would also like another central midfielder as well. But Alexander has said we're definitely bringing in one, and I think it'll be 2 at the absolute maximum. But I think we need to do a little bit more than that. We are looking a little bit light in the centre-back positions, especially if we get a couple of injuries again. We're also looking a little bit light in central midfield. Despite how good Max Power and Jensen Metcalfe were yesterday, we are only 1 yellow card away from Max Power to being, well, our only options are Metcalfe and Tommy Lee. So I think a central midfielder is a bigger priority than a centre-back, but it seems like at the moment we're just trying to sign a load of strikers, doesn't it? But anyway, I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 200 likes, as I said at the start of today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Bradford City striker Callum Kavanagh joining League 2 side Oldham Athletic on a permanent transfer for an undisclosed fee on a 2.5-year deal? I wish him all the very best at Oldham. Certainly played more than his fair share in Bradford City promotion last campaign, but clearly League 1 was a little bit of a too big jump for Kavanagh this season. But thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.